everybody, welcome back to our educational series. It's been a little bit, we've been out in the field having a great time and it's been busy for us. But we're excited to get back into it. What we're going to be focusing on is soil, and we're going to break this up into a mini series. But before we get into soil problems, we need to start with the most basic question. What is soil? That sounds simple, but it is one of the most important questions in tree care. Most people use the words soil and dirt like they mean the same thing, but they are not exactly the same. Dirt is usually what we call soil when it is out of place. It is what gets tracked into your house. It's what gets stuck on your boots, your hands, the floorboards of our work trucks, and somehow your face when you swear you barely touched anything. Soil is different. Soil is not just loose material on the ground. Soil is a living natural system made up of mineral particles, organic matter, water, air, and living organisms. Those parts work together to create the environment that roots grow in. For trees, soil is the root environment. It is where roots anchor the tree. It is where roots absorb water. It is where roots take up nutrients. It is where oxygen moves into the root zone and carbon dioxide moves out. It is also where roots interact with fungi, bacteria, minerals, moisture, organic matter, and other living organisms. That is why soil matters so much in tree care. The roots depend on the soil. The canopy depends on the roots. So if we want to understand tree health, we have to understand the environment supporting the root system. So today, we are starting with what soil is, what it's made of, how it forms, and why it matters to trees.
Soil is often described as a natural body. That means soil is not one single ingredient. It's not just sand or clay, and it's not just decomposed leaves. It's a system that forms over time. So soil begins with parent material. Parent material is the original geologic material that soil formed from. That could be weathered bedrock, sediment moved by water, wind-blown material, volcanic material, or material deposited by flooding, erosion, gravity, or other natural processes. Over time, that parent material changes. That change happens through weathering. Weathering is the breakdown and alteration of rocks and minerals. Physical weathering breaks material apart without changing what it's made of. Temperature changes can cause rocks to expand and contract. Water can move into cracks. In colder climates, freezing and thawing can force material apart. Roots can grow into the small openings. Wind and water can also carry particles that slowly wear rock down. Chemical weathering changes the minerals themselves. Water, oxygen, acids, and other natural chemical reactions can alter mineral over time. These reactions help create the mineral portion of the soil. Biological weathering happens when living organisms affect the soil forming process. Roots grow through cracks. Microorganisms change the soil environment. Plants add organic material. Fungi and bacteria help break material down. Soil doesn't just appear overnight. It forms through parent material, climate, organisms, topography, and time. That is one reason soil is different from place to place. Soil in a forest is different from soil in the desert. Soil near a creek or a wash is different from soil on a slope. Soil in an undisturbed area is different from soil in the yard that has been graded, compacted, irrigated, or covered with rock. And that matters because trees are growing in the real site conditions, not textbook conditions, not ideal conditions. So when we evaluate a tree, the soil is part of that story. What formed it? Has it been disturbed? Does it support root growth? Is it functioning as a healthy root environment? Those questions matter because soil is not just background material. It's part of the tree's living system.
Soil has 5 main components: mineral particles, organic matter, water, air, and living organisms. They all matter and they all interact. The mineral particles come from weathered rock and parent material. They make up much of the solid portion of most soils. They help give soil its physical framework. They influence how the soil feels. They influence how roots move through it. They influence how water moves through it. They influence how much space may be available for water and air. Mineral particles are one of the main building blocks of soil. The next component is organic matter. Organic matter comes from once living material. That can include leaves, twigs, wood, dead roots, insects, microorganisms, and decomposed plant material. Organic matter is usually a smaller percentage of the soil compared to the mineral portion, but it has a major impact on how soil functions. It helps support soil structure. It helps soil hold moisture. It provides energy for soil organisms. It helps with nutrient cycling, and it helps create a better environment for roots. In a natural setting, organic material is constantly being returned to the soil. Leaves fall, twigs break down, roots grow and die. Microorganisms and fungi help decompose that material. Over time, that process feeds the soil system. In maintained landscapes, that cycle is often interrupted. Leaves are removed, plant debris is cleaned up, soil may be covered with rock, the organic layer may become very thin or disappear completely. That does not mean a tree cannot grow there, but it does mean the soil environment may be very different from a natural system. And that difference matters. Soil is not just a place where roots exist. It is the environment that helps the roots function.
The next two components are water and air. Those are easy to overlook because people often think that soil is solid, but healthy soil is not completely solid. It has space, spaces that hold water and air, and roots need both. Most people know roots need water. Water is essential for function. It helps move nutrients, it supports growth, and it's part of photosynthesis. It helps living tissues function. But roots also need oxygen. Roots are living tissue. They respire. Respiration means that they use oxygen to release energy. That energy helps roots grow, absorb water, take up nutrients, and support the rest of the tree. So soil is not only about moisture, it's also about air. A healthy root environment needs balance. Too little water can stress roots. Too much water for too long can limit oxygen. The fifth component is living organisms. Soil can contain many things: bacteria, fungi, protozoa, nematodes, arthropods, insects, and earthworms where conditions support them, along with many other organisms. And these organisms are not just random life underground. They are part of how soil functions. They break down organic material and they recycle nutrients. They influence soil structure and they interact with the roots. Some fungi form relationship with tree roots, and these are called mycorrhizae. Mycorrhizal fungi can extend into the soil and help roots access water and nutrients from a larger area. In return, the tree provides sugars made through photosynthesis. That relationship is one example of why soil is not just physical material. It is biological, it's active, and it's full of interactions. When we say healthy soil is alive, we mean that literally. Soil is a biological system, and that system is part of what supports tree health. Another important part of soil is that it changes with depth. Soil develops in layers called horizons. A vertical section through those layers is called a soil profile. A simple soil profile is often described with O, A, B, and C horizons. The O horizon is the organic layer. This is where leaves, needles, decomposing plant material, and other organic debris collect at the surface. Not every site has a thick O horizon. In maintained landscapes, that layer is often thin or removed because organic material gets cleaned up. Below that is the A horizon, often called topsoil. The A horizon usually changes mineral particles mixed with organic matter. It's often one of the most biologically active layers. For many trees, this upper soil is very important because of a lot of the absorbing roots grow where oxygen, moisture, organic material, and biological activity are more available. Below that is the B horizon, or subsoil. The B horizon usually has less organic material than the A horizon. Materials can accumulate there as water moves through the soil. Depending on the site, that might include clay, iron, salts, or other minerals. Below that is the C horizon. The C horizon is the less weathered parent material beneath the upper soil layers. Below that may be bedrock, depending on the location. That is the simplified textbook version. Real landscapes are often messier. Construction can remove topsoil, grading can mix layers together, fill soil can be brought in, erosion can remove surface material, heavy equipment can compact the profile, rock, irrigation, and hardscape can change surface conditions. So we're not saying that every yard has a perfect clean layer of cake of soil. Most do not, actually. The point is that soil is not the same from the surface all the way down. It changes with depth. Roots respond to those changes. And when a soil profile has been disturbed, the root's environment can change with it. That is why arborists pay attention to more than just the above ground. The root zone can tell us a lot about what's going on with the tree. Roots grow through soil. They absorb water from it. They take up nutrients from it. They exchange gases through it. They form relationships with organisms in it. They respond when soil is too wet, too dry, compacted, disturbed, low in oxygen, or chemically out of balance. A healthy soil system gives roots a better place to function. A damaged soil system can limit root function. And when root function is limited, the tree above ground can eventually show stress, but maybe not immediately.
So the main lesson is this: soil is not just dirt. Soil is a living natural system made up of mineral particles, organic matter, water, air, and living organisms. It forms over time through parent material, weathering, biology, climate, topography, and time. It develops in layers called horizons. It creates the environment that roots depend on. And for trees, that matters because the canopy depends on the roots and the roots depend on the soil. When a tree starts showing stress, we may see yellow leaves, small leaves, thinning canopy, early leaf drop, reduced growth, or dead branches. Those symptoms matter, but the tree is one connected system. The leaves, branches, trunk, roots, and soil are all part of the bigger picture. That does not mean every tree problem is only a soil problem. But soil is always part of tree health because soil is where roots live and function. Soil is not just the ground under our feet. It is the foundation of the root environment. And the root environment is one of the most important parts of tree health. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are breaking tree care down in a way that is practical, science-based, and easy to understand for homeowners here in our community. And if you have a tree question or topic you want us to cover next, leave it in the comments. We would love to hear what you want to learn about. This is Climate High Tree Experts, professional tree care, backed by science, and we'll see you next time.